Watch the comments of this video be full of people claiming that I'm a traitor to the TF2 community, or accusing me of coming crawling back just because I dared to make 3 Marvel Rivals videos in a row. Like, seriously, I made one Minecraft video once, and the next TF2 video I made had a couple comments accusing me of such. Like, calm down, criminy. Anyway, TF2, I like it a lot. I think it is pretty neat. But do you know something I don't like? Single mothers. But if I had to list the second thing I don't like, it would be Battle Royale games. When I come to a shooter, the main thing I'm looking for is teamwork, as I find working alongside a full team of Pablo Gonzalez 2009s a lot more fun than just relying on my own caffeine-induced determination. Yes, I know, most Battle Royale games allow you to party up with your mates, but all of my mates have the spatial awareness of a brick in the middle of a highway, so safe to say we never really got a lot done. But back in December when I was streaming some TF2 gameplay, a viewer in the chat proposed this question to me, and immediately upon reading it, my eyes went the way of Mr. Krabs as I started to think about how a video in this style might be constructed. And that brings us to this video. Today we're going to be asking, answering, and asking the question of which one of our glorious TF2 Mercs would win if they were all to fight it out Battle Royale style, and subsequently, who would be the ultimate loser. Now, there are many different ways this question could be approached, however, all answers are going to largely fall into one of 2 categories, those categories being lore-based or in-game power-based. This video is going to be focusing on the former, not only because the latter sounds more like a Shonik video than my own, but also because I feel that's the one that would be most argumentative and would make the least amount of people happy. We already have enough adults in this community crying about needing their nappies being changed, so trust me when I say we don't need any more of that. So this video pretty much boils down to, canonically, which one of our Mercs would be crowned King of the Letters Club if they were all to duke it out. We'll start by covering the Merc who I think has the lowest chance of success, and then we'll finish on the one who I think has the highest. But I would like to see some genuine predictions on your end in the comments below before we begin. And as a final disclaimer, if your favourite Merc isn't in the spot you wanted him to be in, just remember that there's a bigger number next to my name on a screen than yours, so, you know, just start the damn video already. Number 9, Medic. I would pay good pound to see one genuinely well-paced and descriptive argument for why Medic should deserve the top spot on this list that doesn't revolve around either he is my favourite character, he has ubercharge, or he has like a bajillion souls. And if you're actually able to do that, then that's great because the Hyperbole convention just called and they want to offer you like a bazillion awards. Medic is a great starting stone on this list because it allows me to explain a bit more about how this is going to work. In this hypothetical scenario, we are picturing a Battle Royale style fight to the death between all of our Mercs with only one winner. We're not counting anything stupid like having several souls or the inability to die or anything, you know, dumb like that. Fight to the death, one man standing, who wins? And you know what? It's not Medic. I can find no canonical proof that he can ubercharge himself without the assistance of a teammate, and a shot from any of his syringe guns would have about as much impact as a joke from Rachel Zegler, so safe to say the Hear Me Out squad are gonna have a field day with this one. But I'm sorry guys, Medic's just not winning. Number 8, Pyro. Whenever I'm creating a semi-ranking list for my semi-ranking video on my semi-ranking channel and I don't know where to put a Merc, it normally means he's going to end up somewhere near the bottom. I just don't really know how to approach Pyro in a setting like this. To be the victor in such a Battle Royale style, you're going to need strategy, efficiency, and range, and these are all just things Pyro doesn't really have. I'm fairly confident that Pyro's eyes are completely glazed over behind that mask, as I could find no evidence of efficiency within his killing prowess. Repeat for strategy, and when it comes to range, I don't really feel like I need to explain that one. The other Mercs are terrified of him though, which is the biggest boon he has going for him. But if it were me in this kind of scenario and there was someone I was terrified of, I wouldn't leave them to last. I would gang up on them immediately and try to take them down as early as possible. And I have a feeling our mercenaries are going to have the same attitude. And so I think it is infinitely possible that Pyro is going to die first. Number 7, Heavy. In the unlikely event that God himself comes down from the pearly gates and leaves a comment on this video asking about the placement of the Mercs, I feel I should tell you that if this were a tier list video, the previous 2 Mercs we covered would be in F tier, and the next few Mercs we're going to cover would be in the D and C tiers. And in the case of Heavy, he is in the doubliest of Ds. Being a monster in head-to-head combat just isn't going to help the man out here. His combination of slow speed, huge size, and the veins on his massive forehead practically forming a target shape by themselves are just some of the biggest detriments you could possibly paint on a man in this setting. I do think he would outperform the previous 2 Mercs we've covered though, as he has the intelligence to pull off strategy and he also has the efficiency to execute kills swiftly. But apart from that, what else am I supposed to say here? Actually, you know what? You write the rest of this paragraph. Write a paragraph in the comments below on why you think Heavy deserves this spot on this list. Here are all of the keywords you have to include, winner gets a shout out in the next video and a bunch of free war paints in TF2, I am dead serious. Number 6, Scout. I feel Scout's chances aren't infinitely low, but I feel he's also lacking a few of the key elements that you'd need to succeed. The main one being any form of intelligence or strategy. Scout is a man who has professionalized being annoying, and that goes its ways in a Battle Royale setting, however I just don't think it goes far enough. His speed in this battle will still be the godsend it is in game, as it grants him the single strongest boon you could possibly have, the ability to pick your fights and when. He could also use his speed to close distances, to hide for cover, hell if there are resources available he can grab them too, but at the end of the day, what is all of that speed if you have the room reading capabilities of a tea tray? So I would consider Scout our first decent pick, but not quite decent enough. Number 5, Soldier. Now, again, before the Hear Me Out squad start to attack their keyboards in the comments as if they've come to life, allow me to just explain myself on this one. Soldier is a pretty excellent pick for a Battle Royale setting, however, there are just some major flaws holding him back from being any higher on this list. The best of his boons include the ability to rocket jump. This is both an invaluable offensive and defensive tool as it grants him the ability to pick his fights, much like with Scout. Soldier is also very good at melee combat, something in this setting that would usually be as useless as a snooze button on a smoke alarm. However, said invaluable ability to pick his fights grants him the opportunity to use melee combat more effectively than other classes. So if he has all of this going for him, what's to his detriment? And to that, I just have to say projectile speed. Most Battle Royale games and general settings overall feature very large open wide maps, which is why bullet weapons and anything that deals hit scan damage is usually going to be king. And in the case of Soldier, his primary fires slow, slumbering rockets compared to the quick snappiness of bullets. With this being his main source of damage, I really don't think he could propel any further up this list. Even if he does, lore-wise, have the TF2 equivalent of God and anime on his side. In the words of a very wise man who may appear later down this list, skill will always beat luck. Number 4, Demo. Demo has slightly less positives than Soldier, however his negatives are also less impactful, so I'm going to favour low risk, low reward here and put Demo just above Soldier, but they'd probably belong in the same tier anyway. Being canonically plastered 24/7 just isn't the negative it is on Demo as it would be for every other character. It actually gives him so much double vision that he can actually see as if he had 2 eyes. Combine this with the fact that he also has the ability to pick his fights via blast jumping, and the fact that he is even greater at melee combat than Soldier makes him a much better candidate for a Battle Royale choice. I've only just realised I've been saying choice as if we're betting on these characters to win, and I think that's really funny. Demo Knight isn't going to be of too much help here, however it is a nice thing to have as a shield in any context is going to be good. What I'm trying to say is Demo's form of destruction is very flexible, and flexibility is going to bode you well in this context. And with Demo out of the way, we now move on to the final 3 characters. Any one of these characters I could see getting that number 1 victory royale in any day, but I'm still going to rank them from least likely to win to most likely to win because I believe one just edges above the other 2 in most situations. Oh yeah, and if you're 7 minutes into the video already and you haven't subscribed, like genuinely get lost. Or subscribe, you know, one of the 2. And do you remember that playlist I'm always plugging? Yep, it's still on the channel, so go check it out and maybe I'll stop talking about it. Anyway, we are now moving on to our pen ultimate Merc, as I believe number 3, Spy, is the 3rd most likely character to win. The first thing we have to remember about Spy is that due to a lack of teammates, he's actually quite severely nerfed, mostly when it comes to disguises. In a Battle Royale setting, disguising as Little Timmy Scout main just isn't going to help you very much. He could still very well use his disguises to throw off the enemies, but again, not that helpful. But whilst the value of a disguise kit goes down in a Battle Royale setting, things like an insta-killing backstab and on-demand invisibility only go up. And by up, I mean they skyrocket up faster than a 30-year-old virgin at an anime convention. These tools alone are what put Spy in this position on this list. You don't need to worry about distance closing when invisibility is on the table. He comes equipped with a revolver if things go wrong, and he is an assassin by trade. One-on-one fights are what he excels at. So overall, pretty strong candidate, as if Spy mains needed even more of an ego boost. Number 2, Sniper. This is the class I reckon people were betting on taking the first place on this list, but I disagree. I mean, I only disagree by like a bee's boner, but I do disagree. Sniper is an unbelievably strong candidate to take home the crown. A man that has all strategies, expertise, and range in spades. You don't need to worry about hand-to-hand combat if no one can get to you to begin with. He is a fantastic shot and a ruthlessly efficient killer, and he has piss. I don't really know how that's going to help him here. And the larger the battlefield, the better he gets. More places to hide, more elevation means more wins for him. And hey, if things go wrong, the SMG is at least functional. On different days, I dithered over the top 2 spots on this list, swapping them around and failing to make up my mind. But when I really sat down last night to think about it, I don't think the number 1 spot is of contention. Number 1, Engineer. On my tea-drinking, pinky-pointing mother's life, there is no way Engineer loses this fight. Remembering that we are preferring lore-based power over in-game power in this context, we can remind ourselves of every time we have ever seen a sentry in any of Valve's animations, and how there have been multiple of them. Canonically, Engineer can just build as many buildings as he wants. So what's stopping him from making a nest and just putting 30 sentries in it? What's stopping him from just putting 30 teleporters everywhere so he has total map control? What's stopping him from building a house out of dispensers and then creating his own TF2 with blackjack and hookers? The answer is nothing. With strategies and expertise in the bag, he does suffer a bit in the range department, but again, the use of teleporters here is kind of breaking all of the rules. The only real issue I could see Engineer running into is lack of resources, but I'm very sure he would come well equipped to the battle regardless, and anything that breaks can always be recycled into repairing other buildings. Look, okay, I'm sorry if you thought Sniper was going to win. I think that's probably quite a sensible choice, but I just don't think he can scale up to Engineer, okay? Not even Grug could scale up to Engineer's power level. Engineer takes the dub, no further questions please. And that, unceremoniously, will do for now. Thank you very much everyone for watching this video. It's been a while since I've done a proper TF2 video and I apologise, but hey, I made another one, so, you know, whoopee. Just before we leave, I'd like to give a final big thank you to my Patreons and YouTube members for making this video possible, with the biggest of thank yous going to Saber Silver and Sukus. Consider joining if you haven't already, because YouTube members and Patreons got early access to videos like this and a whole lot more stuff. And with that being said, it's one overall final thank you from me, and I will see you later down the sunny road.